Hello, welcome to Worthy Wednesday. I am your host, Karee. First of all, shout out to Generation Ethos for this shirt. I love them. Shout out Charles Eccles. I'll put the link for this shirt in here so y'all can buy some. He has some new shirts coming out now. Sweatshirts, get them. Anyway, well, welcome to Worthy Wednesday. Y'all, it's a little late. It's late where I am, so it's later where you are. But today, I want to talk to you on the first Wednesday of December. Today is Wednesday, December the 3rd, 2025. Only, how many more days? I don't know, 20 something. Okay, 28. 30 days. How's September? April, June? Yeah, 28 more days. And we will be at December 31st going into 2026. So welcome to Worthy Wednesday. Y'all, I have a few things I want to say. But first of all, I want to talk about the things that we have learned this year about looking for and experiencing everyday miracles. One thing that I have really discovered is that looking for miracles requires participation. Okay? Y'all, you cannot say that you are living in everyday miracles if you are not participating. And by that, I mean you are not actually looking for things. Sometimes we expect life to just fall right into our laps and we don't have to do anything, even participate in life. We just kind of let things pass us by and then hope and wish and pray, but we never act on it. The other thing I have learned this year in studying about everyday miracles is how important your language is when you are experiencing a miracle, when you do, and while you were in the waiting, as it would seem, for a miracle to occur. And the final thing I learned about everyday miracles in 2025 is that there are more everyday miracles than we are willing to admit. And there are more everyday miracles that we are not seeing because we are looking for the wrong thing, because we have a tendency as people to determine that what the miracle has to look like exactly what I want. Which leads me to tonight, which is the first thing I talked about, which was preparation. And so tonight I just want to talk to you briefly about miracle preparation, because I think it needs to be said. If you do not prepare, what's that little saying they used to say back in the day? If you don't plan to fail, you fail to plan, or something like that. Anyway, basically what it means is if there's no work done prior, don't get upset when the result that you experience is because of the work you did not do prior. Okay, so I want to talk about miracle preparation. Now, in essence, what I really want to discuss about preparation is the first part of that word. It's PRE, which is a suffix. Okay, that means it's in the front of a word. So it changes and adds to the definition. So it's prep or preparation. Okay, anyway, that y'all don't care about that because y'all are nerdy, but I care about that. So PRE is a prefix. Did I say suffix? Sorry, it's a prefix because it's in the front. My bad. Anyway, but a prefix means it gives you an indication of the direction that that word is going to be defined, whether it's going to be before, during, or after. If it's going to be a direction like over or under, if it's going to provide instruction, right? Y'all don't even care about that, but I do. So PRE, if you prepare, that means you do something beforehand. That means that you take into account all of the factors that could contribute to you actually doing that task successfully. Now, preparation, when you become an adult, is key. Okay, let me just give you a real practical example that all of us can relate to. Before you go on a trip, there are several things that you must do to prepare before you go on that trip. Preparation means that you look at, you examine, you determine what are the key elements that I need to execute. What are the steps that I must take in order for me to go on this trip successfully. Let me just give you some examples. First of all, you have to buy the ticket, okay? Or train ticket or bus ticket, however, whatever mode of transportation you are going to select. Secondly, you've got to be sure you have the money. I mean, it seems crazy, but sometimes we buy on credit, and that's fine. I mean, thank God for that. We're able to do things that we need to do. Thirdly, you need to have a plan about where you're going, what you're going to do there, where you are going to have lodging, accommodation, accommodations, how you are going to eat, how are you going to have transportation, and then what are the activities that you plan to do while you're there. And finally, that the trip is a round trip ticket. So it brings you from your home to the destination and then from the destination to your home. The pre in there gives you the indication that this is something that must be done. Now here, let me tell you why being a miracle, there must be preparation for that. Sometimes we think that we don't have any responsibility in relationship to our lives or the things that we have to do. And we wish and we hope and we pray that things just kind of fall into place. Now, because miracles are divinely began and they are divinely influenced, we know that sometimes we're not doing anything to receive a miracle. However, if you were living longer than a day as an adult, preparation is required for every area of your life. You prepare to go to bed. You prepare to cook dinner. You prepare to go to work. You prepare to pick out an outfit to wear for work. Preparation is the absolute only method that ensures you have checked every box that needed to be checked prior to you going to do something or be somewhere or live or make a plan or do anything. When you fail to prepare, you fail to have the outcome that you are looking for. Now, I think for me, what is very challenging, okay, I'm very type A personality. I like to know things. I like to do research about anything before I go do it extensively. If I'm able to even try out something before I actually do it, I'm even game for that. For me, preparation is the way for me to get my mind in alignment and understanding the thought process that I need to have before I go participate in something. So for me, preparation is key, right? I want to be fully aware of my responsibilities, of the responsibilities of the other party involved, if there is another party involved, and also what could be typical outcomes for this particular event. Something that is crazy work to me. Preparation allows you to examine what your responsibility is in that particular situation. So if you are preparing to go on a trip for 2 weeks, you're not going to take one set of clothing. You're not going to take one set of unmentionables. You're not going to take one bar of soap. You are going to prepare as if there is an emergency or if there is a change to plans, you have well provided the things that you need in order to still be successful while you are away from home. So I guess the question then becomes, Corey, how does that really translate when you're looking at miracles? Because sometimes they are spontaneous. Sometimes they occur over multiple facets of time in your life. But here's what I'm telling you, why you have to prepare for a miracle. Because when a miracle hits your life, it changes everything, right? If you get married, that's a miracle. It's a blessing. It changes everything about who you are. It changes your address, changes your name, changes your bank accounts. It changes your ability to do things because you have now encountered something that you're no longer by yourself. Now you're with someone else. When you prepare for a trip, you are saying that I am ready to enjoy all of the benefits of this trip. When I get married, I'm going to enjoy all the benefits of being married. When you are preparing for a miracle, it requires change. It requires that I look at all of the elements that are required for me to be successful. But the most important examination is of myself. Y'all, do we honestly evaluate ourselves? I mean, I'm just going to ask you, because sometimes I feel like I'm doing a phenomenal job really self-examining who I am, my attitude, my thoughts, my speech, all of these things. And then sometimes I realize I didn't examine myself at all because I didn't want to. And preparation requires that you do things that you would normally ignore and not pay attention to because you're like, well, I don't really need to pay attention to that right now. But preparation requires that you examine all facets, all angles, all particular outcomes that could or could not occur. So you are well prepared. You are ready for what could happen. So I wonder if we have ever considered that miracles, when they come into our life, have we prepared for them? Have we prepared after them? Because once something comes into your life and it changes, you can't do the same thing that you were doing before that. You can't act the same way. You can't speak the same way. You can't talk the same way. Preparation requires change. I cannot stress this enough. And I'm really not stressing it for you. I'm stressing it for myself. The only constant in our lives is change. I cannot be who I was tomorrow, because tomorrow is a new day. And what is going to occur in that day requires that my mind makes the adjustment to be productive and functional in that day. Why is it that we think, especially as women who are agents of change all the time, that the only way that we are able to change things all the time, houses into home, children into mature young women and young men that go off to be successful, relationships that grow and flourish, why is it that we think the only way we do those things is by miracles? Y'all, we do that because we prepare. We get all of the things in order to help people become who are they supposed to be. And how do we do that? By changing. I change my attitude if I need to change it. I change my ability to pass the buck to other people when really the buck needs to stop with me. Preparation means I am going to do things prior to something coming into my life. That means I might have to stand in the mirror and talk to this woman in the mirror about the words that are coming out of my mouth, or about the things that I have allowed to change my thought process, or the fear and anxiety that I have constantly subscribed to. And it's time for me to get free from that. You must prepare. Like when we were living in the pandemic, most people were not prepared to be at home all the time. Most people did not have at least 2 rolls of toilet paper stacked up in the linen closet. We saw a nation that was scrambling to survive because we did not have the forethought to prepare ahead. That means we didn't anticipate what was going to happen could directly impact me. And that, worthy women, is where miracle preparation changes everything. If I expect things to become different in my life, what am I preparing for? Have I changed my mind? Have I changed my thought process? Let me just be real. Have you changed your friend group? Have you changed the words that are coming out of your mouth? Have you changed what you hear? Have you changed what you see? I cannot prepare from one miracle to expect another one if I think, well, nothing I did brought that miracle on. So why do I have to become better? Why do I have to change? Why do I have to grow? I think that's what kids say. And I can tell you as a teacher, when they fail a test that I prepped them for 3 weeks, when they tell me, Miss Copeland, you asked these questions and I didn't know. And I'm like, this was on the study guide. All that tells me is that you didn't take the information that I gave you and go back home and study it so you would be ready for the examination. And you're trying to convince me that you were caught off guard, but it was because you didn't take the time to prepare. You didn't take the time to organize, to circumvent the possibility of me not doing what I was supposed to do. You didn't do your job. The PRE means in front of or before. What are you going to do before you get upset and yell? What are you going to do before you want to slap your coworker at work and you know you need to change your attitude? What are you going to do before if you know you want to go to graduate school and you haven't even started on your license or your application? What are you doing? PRE. What are you doing before that happens so you are ready that when a miracle comes, when you are the agent of change that God could graciously use to be a miracle for somebody else, have you prepared? Have you studied? Have you done your homework? Have you made your life a living example for somebody else to see clearly? Miracle preparation, y'all, I really think it is something that we need to study. I need to be ready for whatever could come tomorrow. And how do I get ready for that? I need to look at me. I need to change me. Miracles don't change other people. Did y'all know that? They change you. People that see what happens because of the miracle you experiences, it impacts them. But what changes people that see by default, actually, right? That they see you live in a miracle. What actually changes them is the change you make because of that miracle. I wonder if I have ever been prepared for certain things that the Lord has allowed me to do for certain people. I wonder if I've actually been the agent of the miracle that I was supposed to be because I had been preparing before that. I wonder if I look at every single day thinking, what do I need to do prior to me leaving my house so I say the right words? I speak the right words, okay? I need to say and speak the right words. I need to think the right thoughts. I need to be exactly who I am supposed to be. I wonder if I did the pre-work at home, or sometimes the pre-work in the car before I go into the grocery store, the pre-work before I go into the doctor's office, the pre-work before I go into the restaurant, that I don't bring everything that I'm dealing with and just dump that on other people and just say, well, I'll work on that tomorrow. I'll change that tomorrow. Miracle preparation. I want to be prepared in my life, not just future tense or past tense, but present tense. I need to be actively doing the things that change me. I don't need to change other people. I think that's really great because it is what I have learned my entire life in these 5 years with Worthy Wednesday. I don't need other people to change, you guys. I need to change. I need to do the pre-work so the preparation does what it's supposed to do and gets me ready for the miracle. Anyway, I hope this week, during the first week of December and the rest of this month, while you're preparing your Christmas tree and your Christmas dinner and your Christmas shopping, you don't negate to prepare the most important thing in your life. You. I'll see y'all again.